And welcome inside the Backstage Pass brand new week. And a brand new week of shows here, of course, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Hank Jr. Productions, live on the website and the YouTube channel. Pleased to welcome in one of my favorites. She is a hell of a musician. I'm going to give her the introduction out there, both lyrically, instrumentally, and she just put out a new single this past Friday, Hometown, out of me. And she was so good, I actually had to tell Clay Walker about her. Too as well this past weekend as he did our football broadcast with myself and Robbie and the guys out there. Pleased to welcome in Nashville recording artist. You know her, you love her, HunterGirl here to the show. What's going on?
Hey, how are you doing?
It's been a while, and I tell you what, it's just good to have you here and good to talk about some music over the next half hour or so. But I guess take me back to the spring. This whole thing of the pandemic and these reality shows coming together, and you get this thing called American Idol. And I'd known about you, as many people had before this show was, of course, ever around, and you jumped on the platform. But how much of a crazy ride was this show, American Idol, and how much did you learn, I guess, even more as a
Yeah.
musician to kind of get through this whole thing?
This is probably no, I definitely know. It was the craziest year of my life. It's been awesome. I learned a lot about myself on the show. I grew a lot as an artist, definitely as a person. And it's incredible, getting to play songs with that band every week. The band there is incredible. All the producers were so kind and getting to be around the judges, that was wild. Three people that I've looked up to for a really long time and just discovering who you are as an artist and then getting to sing some of my original songs on the show was super special. I never thought that I'd be on TV, much less get to sing my own songs on TV. So it was really, really awesome.
How comforting was it for you to not only step on a platform like that, but you had a lot of pretty cool musical success, both as a singer and a songwriter. You kind of knew how Nashville worked before stepping on a national series like that as far as singing competitions go. How much did that help you knowing a little bit about the business onto a reality show like
Well, I don't think anybody ever figures it out. I definitely hadn't. But I started playing when I was about 14. My mom and dad driving me everywhere and just figuring it out, playing to bar stools and empty rooms and you just kind of learn how to be an entertainer. I started playing on Broadway when I was like 18, right when I
that?
graduated high school and going to school full time and I think all those shows and writing songs, everything kind of prepared me for that moment. I think God's timing is perfect. I'd auditioned for the show when I was like 16,
Hmm.
17, 18, and and obviously nothing turned out at that point in my life, but I think that it definitely prepared me for this year. Lord, thank God, because it was awesome. But I definitely felt like this was my time to be on the show for sure.
They had talked about, and Ryan had said several times in the judges, man, this cast of musicians was some of the best they'd ever seen. And I know they say that, but I really kind of felt like they meant that this year with yourself and Noah Thompson and some of the other great contestants on there. How tough was it week to week to go after? I mean, the song choice, the wardrobe, the things of this, listen to judges' feedback, and then how much time you guys had to put into this behind the scenes, much less the actual show itself.
Well, yeah, our schedule was, crazy. Because we have to get everything ready before Sunday. So right when Sunday would end, we'd immediately the next day start working again. And we're getting up at 5, 6 a.m. and we're going till 6, 7 p.m. like on the early days. And then towards the end, we were running till midnight,
Mm.
12:30. We're
Mhm.
learning songs on the fly. And so, yeah, I think it got really hard. I think definitely towards the end because we're flying to different places. We're running off no sleep and trying not to lose our voices. But it was also just so cool. I never thought that I'd get to do anything like that.
Mhm.
And I was really glad that everybody on the season was so awesome. I found some of my best friends in that season and just people that I could definitely just hang out with after and just kind of talk about everything we're all going through together. And yeah, so it was insane. It was awesome. It was scary. It was super
Mhm.
scary too. You're like, oh my God, I'm on TV. And, you get all these people watching you and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't mess up. I can't mess up." And there's a lot of pressure, but the fun and just
Mhm.
how amazing it was definitely outweighed that for sure.
What was it like here? Because you were one of the first recipients, and probably the first recipient, if I remember, Luke Bryan and the platinum ticket. And as far as like playing Broadway there, and they presented you the platinum ticket in the middle of a performance that you were doing. I mean, what kind of went through your mind when he pops through the door with the judges and they present the first ever platinum ticket to you?
Yeah, it was wild because I auditioned the first time like in the audition room and they'd asked me to stay in town, and I knew we needed to do B-roll, which I found out what B-roll meant. You kind of look dramatic in the distance, and they film you. And because I've been playing, they FaceTime me and they're like, okay, yeah, we'd love for you to come down and play at the bar. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And they're like, we're not going to be there because auditions were running late, and I already knew that auditions were running late. And I was like, okay, cool. And so we go down there. I bring my guitar, and I get down there, and they're like, oh, you're playing with a band. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so they put some in-ears on me, and then I got up there and started singing. And it's a live crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It was a normal day, and I go up there and start singing. And then halfway through, the judges walk in, and I about have a heart attack. So everything was definitely real time. And yeah, I wish my parents could have been there. When I called them after, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish we could have stayed, because they had work the next day. And it was just really, really special. And just a lot of tears, and just I feeling seen. I think every artist, I think actually anybody, just wants to feel seen in their life. And I think definitely in that moment, I felt like I was seen by the judges, and later on, definitely on TV. So it was amazing.
What was it like? Because I remember back in the day, they used to have the duets. And of course, I know they changed a little bit of that this year, where you guys were sitting from the balcony and you got to kind of see some things and sit back. You got the buy, if you will, and kind of were sitting idle. And then I believe what they changed was you guys got to choose your partner to do a kind of a duet with. Take me through all that. First of all, sitting back watching it and kind of getting the upper hand, and then kind of going into that round, because to me, that group round is always kind of the nerve-wracking thing for artists on that show.
Yeah, for sure. And to sit up there watching, and then they're like, okay, you're going to choose your partner. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot figure out where I want to go to eat, much less choose something like that. And so I'm freaking out the whole time, just like, oh my gosh, who am I going to pick? And it was like towards the very end where I decided with Cole Ritter, who was one of my really good friends, and after the show and stuff. And so, yeah, I was about to have a heart attack trying to make a decision. And then also on the backside of that, we're learning a song together, me and the other two platinum winners. And so we're trying to figure out a 3-part harmony. I'd never done 3-part harmony in my life with people. I just met them. And so we're trying to figure out how to do that. And then also picking our partners and stuff. So it was crazy, and it was so weird being on the balcony. I was like, I just want to be sitting with everybody. I was like, get me off this balcony.
And I'm sure as the rounds go on, and you know what's cool, I love seeing it too, is just America. It's cool the judges do that, and you guys the trip to Hawaii and things like that.
Yeah.
First, I had to ask you, Hawaii had to be a blast, right?
Oh my gosh, I never thought that I'd get to go to Hawaii in my life. I was like, this is crazy. I hadn't really traveled that much, and definitely not thinking I was going to get to go to Hawaii. And it was beautiful. Like the beach is my happy place. And, we actually got a lot of downtime while we were there, which was really, really awesome. And and getting to play there. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole season, was getting to be in Hawaii. Because I was like, I'm remembering this, because I don't think I'll ever get to come back.
When you look at how it kind of gets out of the judges' hand, you guys, the top 24, and they start dwindling down to that 12, 15, 10, whatever it is, and still the countdown. What was it like to see, and I saw your videos, just thanking America so much for the votes, and just seeing a nation get behind you, and you're so talented at what you do, and you're a great artist. What was it like just to see America kind of engulf HunterGirl and continue those votes all the way up into the finale?
It was incredible, because this is my dream. It's been my dream since I was a kid. And other people saying, oh, I support you, like I believe in you, that means everything. That's what every artist wants, is somebody that believes in them. And every week I'd see people doing like watch parties, and definitely in my hometown, they had them at the Oldham back at the theater in my hometown. And that meant everything, because I was getting to connect with so many people all at once, and just having people that have my back. It was hard for a lot of the times during the show. You're just worrying if you're good enough. You're like, did I do this the right way? And just having people that supported you no matter what is something that was greater than I could have ever asked for sure.
Well, you deserved it, no doubt. I'm going to go back to some old school HunterGirl here when I started listening to you. We're not in Kansas anymore, 2018. I was going to bring that up too, but I do a little digging here on the show. Tell us about that one, because we're going to go through a little bit of chronological order here, but I'm going some old school HunterGirl there, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. So that was the first song that I'd put out under HunterGirl. And I wrote it by myself. I was in the car. I'd actually been coming from Kansas. Actually, I was playing a songwriters festival, and And there was this guy down there, and he was one of my friends, but he was way too old for me. And I was like, my daddy's going to kill me. This is never going to work out. And he taught me how to two-step and waltz. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so pretty. And so we were driving back to Nashville, and me and my mom and dad, and I was looking out the window, all dramatic music video style, and we were passing in to Missouri. And I'm pretty goofy, and I was looking out the window, and I was like, well, we're not in Kansas anymore, filming on Snapchat, and we're going to Missouri. And I started laughing, and I was like, oh my God, we're not in Kansas anymore. So I started writing it in the car on the way back to Nashville, and then it ended up being the first song that I recorded.
I tell you, I caught you by surprise. You know I was going to bring that up, no doubt.
I know. Go down to left field. We're talking some sports references here.
Say left field. Look at that. And I know we'll get to some sports here in a little bit too, because I got to talk a little bit about just your favorite teams. We'll do that little segment I call Rapid Fire here in a little bit too. Like I said, no player names, just if there's any teams that you root for, college or pro. Or I know a lot of people are going to say the Tennessee Titans, which is right there in Nashville too. We'll go to my audience real quick before we take a little time out. We're going to come back, and of course, we've got a couple of performances here on the Backstage Pass with HunterGirl today, including the latest single. If you guys hadn't checked it out, again, it came out last Friday, Hometown Out of Me. Yeah, Anne's all the way tuning in from Australia, so this is cool to see her. Yeah, look at that. Have a good crowd, good listenership over in Australia. That's thanks to our internet station out of Oklahoma, nightwaveradio.net, and also High Tide Country. They play our show out there, so we appreciate that. And David, tuning in from England, he says, watching from Cumbria too. And okay, that's always a great question. Sometimes I'll ask it, sometimes not. To tell me about the guitar she uses and how important it is, the guitar, to her music.
Yeah. So the guitar I play is an Ovation. It's the one that I've played, oh my gosh, for years now. And I was playing a lot of shows with a band, and so the guitar I had was super heavy, and so I went in to play this event, and I didn't get paid for it or anything, but they were like, pick out a guitar. And I'm like, pick out a guitar? Okay, I'll take that. And I picked out that one, and I love that guitar. It's been with me through a lot. I've written almost every song that's out in the world right now on that guitar, and so it's like my baby. And so whenever I'm playing on the road or going out to write a song, I definitely play that one. When I'm at the house, I'll play a few others, but that one's the one that I write all my songs on.
That's a good one too. It's always got to be personal, no doubt. The instrument is as good as the singer, and vice versa, no doubt. Love that too. Well, I'll tell you what, it's time to we'll take a break, give you time to kind of adjust and tune that guitar up too, no doubt. Hometown Out of Me. We'll come back and play that one. What do you say? We'll do that after a quick little timeout. It's a HunterGirl. It is the Backstage Pass, of course, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Hank Jr. Productions, coming back here with a performance, one of two songs today coming up, and we'll talk a lot more about Redbird and, of course, One Day, the EP, which I love so much out there, that's available across all the platforms. Quick timeout. We're coming back more with HunterGirl on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And we got a good crowd tune today, so some more comments we're going to get to too as well. When you got a superstar like her, you're going to get a lot of comments here on the show. HunterGirl here on the Backstage Pass, and Brian, I'll get to some of the comments there on the YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in as always. Here it is, HunterGirl and Hometown Out of Me, the latest single. Take it away. It is all yours.
Okay. Mama kinda had a feeling. Thank God she always got me. A county light in the ceiling wasn't ever gonna stop me. Wings are made for open air, and there's a great big world out there. There ain't a map dot I don't wanna see, but this one is a part of me. I'm never gonna not think heaven's at the end of Daddy's little gravel road. I'm never gonna not be the same old same me. Everybody back there knows an apple is still an apple when it's nowhere near the tree. You can take me out of my hometown, but you can't take my hometown out of me. Maybe you ain't scared of crashing when you got a place to land. You can hear it in my accent that somebody gave it down. 'Cause if this long shot falls apart, 9,000 people know my heart and they love me just the same. If this world does or doesn't know my name, I'm never gonna not think heaven's at the end of Daddy's little gravel road. I'm never gonna not be the same old same me. Everybody back there knows an apple is still an apple when it's nowhere near the tree. You can take me out of my hometown, but you can't take my hometown out of me. My hometown out of me. Oh, I'm still a kid down at Grandpa's Creek. You can't take my hometown out of me. Still a flower on a dogwood tree. You can't take my hometown out of me. I'm never gonna not think heaven's at the end of Daddy's little gravel road. I'm never gonna not be the same old same me. Everybody back there knows an apple is still an apple when it's nowhere near the tree. You can take me out of my hometown, but you can't take my hometown out of me. Hometown out of me. Ooh, you can't take my hometown out of me.
You can't take that hometown out of her, just like I'd say that too. That's why I told Clay Walker the other night. I said, better watch out for this young lady here too. She's on the way to superstardom, no doubt. And he said he just loved the title of that song. He was telling me too a little bit during our. We got to talk a little bit after the ball game that I broadcast, and he came up and was the like grand marshal of the parade, and of course he sang the national anthem back in his hometown and his high school, and was doing the broadcast there. And I said, HunterGirl is someone you need to look out for. Hometown out of me. And that's what made me think so much about the song, was because I relate to that. And now I'm calling the games for one of my schools that I was very close to here in my own hometown. So it really just, I may leave this place, but I'm always going to come back to it. And that's what's so good about this single that's out there, available nationwide. How did you kind of come to the idea? I mean, obviously you're telling a beautiful story through the lyrics, and it's connecting so much through storytelling. And that's what I love about music and doing that. Where did this one kind of come from?
So my hometown has supported my music journey since I was little. And and especially through this past year. And actually the way that it came about, I was going home. It was the first weekend after the show. And I was with my mom in Food Line. I don't know if y'all have one of those in Texas, but it's like a supermarket. And I walk in and I look over and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my face. And my local newspaper had bought ads congratulating me on this season and just cheering me on. And, I'm trying not to cry in a supermarket. And my mama, her accent's like mine, but maybe even worse. And she's grabbing newspapers going, your Nana's getting one. Your aunt's getting one. Your cousin. And I started laughing, and I got in the car, and I was like, I really want to write a song for my hometown, just thanking them for all the support this past season. And when I got back on Monday, it was one of the first songs that I wrote when I got back into town. I wrote "Hometown Out of Me" with Jimmy Robbins and Laura Veltz. So I was wanting to write a song for my hometown, and that one came about in a special way.
I love it too. And this Brian kind of builds on this, and I know this is a question I was going to ask, but we'll let one of the listeners kind of chime in there. New music for the debut album next year, and one of the questions he said about any plans to release "Hometown Out of Me" on radio as the first single off the debut album.
Well, I'm working on songs. I've been writing a lot lately. It's been crazy. I've been writing so many songs, and it's been awesome. So definitely working on an EP album kind of thing, and yeah, so I cannot wait to see what makes the EP, and to hear my song on the radio would be super cool. So yeah.
I got to ask this one too. He comes back into some great questions. Y'all keep them coming too. Like I said, because I love these questions too, coming from the audience. Musical influences in country music growing up.
So the person I look up to the most is Dolly Parton. I love her. I grew up near East Tennessee, and every Christmas, my Nana and Pa, they'd buy me Dollywood tickets. And so I loved her songwriting. I loved her as an artist, but most of all, I loved her as a person. And I definitely grew up wanting to be like her. I also grew up loving Reba McEntire. And so those are the two that I definitely looked up to whenever I was growing up.
Two of the greatest of all time. Catherine, tuning in there on the YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate that. Release your originals on YouTube like Stains or Happy Ending.
Yeah, maybe. Everything's kind of up in the air right now, and I've been writing a lot of songs and basically choosing through them when it gets time to get ready for the EP. But yeah, I'm excited to see which songs make it on there, and I love both of those songs. And you've been on my YouTube. Thank you.
Love that. So, I like this one from Ann too, because there's always I can't really say the answer because I never can formulate an opinion. Doesn't mean it's going to be right in your head. She's saying here, favorite moment with a fan so far. Catherine.
Oh my gosh. I've had so many getting to come back, but I think like my favorite moments that I've had being back were definitely in response to my song Redbird. There's been so many stories, people coming up to me and telling me what that song meant to them. And, whenever I was little, that's what my mom told me. Whenever I saw Redbird, it meant somebody was watching over me. And so I think getting to hear those stories has been incredible. And that's what I've wanted to do with my music, is to help people. And getting to sing that song in the finale, like that was my entire goal. I was like, I really want this song to help people. And then I think also, all the little girls that I've gotten to see after the show, and they're wearing HunterGirl shirts, or they're dressed in boots, and it's just so awesome. And so getting to see myself as a little girl, looking up at some of the artists that I looked up to, and just thinking that maybe I could be somebody like that for them. That's just so cool. It's just a full circle moment, and I've had a lot of those this year.
Well, I do have a Backstage Pass t-shirt for you, and I'm actually going to wear a HunterGirl shirt for you. We'll talk about that in the exchange off the air, but I am sending you a Backstage Pass from my collection. I'm going to wear a HunterGirl shirt here in my market down here, so we can do that, because we're about to hit this big concert coming up with a guy named Wade Bowen here in Texas, and a guy named Co Wetzel. A lot of people know who that is. So we're going to be doing a concert there. So I'm actually going to take the HunterGirl shirt, kind of like this artist shirt I have on, and wear it out to some of the shows, and just support. There you go.
You're the best.
I try to be, no doubt. Let's see what we got here. And this is the one I got Ann and Catherine mixed up. Catherine said about the favorite moment with fans so far. Ann is asking something I could have answered, but like I said, I'll let you answer that. Favorite judge on Idol.
So all the judges were just so awesome, so nice. I didn't know how much you'd really get to hang out with the judges, but we hung out with them a lot, and I got to talk to them. Obviously, Luke Bryan is somebody that I've looked up to for a long time, and getting to hang out with him and getting to sing with him was incredible. Little Hunter would have lost her mind, and so getting to hang out with him was incredible. He was probably my favorite judge, and Katie and Lionel were awesome. I got to meet Katie's family, actually, her 3 nieces, and they all have blonde hair and big blue eyes, and they were running up, and they were like, Hunter! And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to catch you. And Lionel was a sweetheart. And so all 3 of them were incredible people, and their music's awesome too. But I think just meeting the person and knowing that they're a good person is awesome too.
I love that, no doubt. Well, I'll tell you, we're still going to talk about one day. The questions are firing off just like a bullet coming out of a gun. So keep them coming right there, too, which is good. I want to ask you about one day a little bit because it was a great EP. And, of course, we'll talk about Redbird here in just a little bit, too. I'll tell you what, the floor is all yours. And would you like to play for us the second song?
I saw a comment. I might do Thank Your Ex.
Okay.
Let me do that one. That one's, this is one of the first songs I wrote when I came to Nashville, and I hope it's on. I hope it gets to be on the EP. So. This one's for you, Chantel. If you're through losing sleep and your blues hit the street, your past is packed away with all your baggage. If the fire in your soul is fine with alone, your crying eyes are dried, you found your swagger. If you're happy and you know it, go on, girl, and show it. Paint your nails, fix your hair, and wear that dress. If you're looking in the mirror and the heart you see ain't bitter, just send him a text, wish him the best. If you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. The hand you were dealt, the pain that you felt, every lesson was a blessing. Now you're stronger in love you and letting go and moving on. If you're happy and you know it, go on, girl, and show it. Paint your nails, fix your hair, and wear that dress. If you're looking in the mirror and the heart you see ain't bitter, just send him the text, wish him the best. If you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. Oh, can I get a raised hand? Y'all, do I hear an amen? If you hate Aretha's preaching and respect the girl he left, oh, can I get a raised hand? Y'all, do I hear an amen? If you hate Aretha's preaching and respect the girl he left, yeah. If you're happy and you know it, go on, girl, and show it. Paint your nails, fix your hair, wear that dress. If you're looking in the mirror and the heart you see ain't bitter, send him a text, wish him the best. Happy and you know it, thank your ex. Just send him a text, wish him the best. Swipe left, delete, forget. If you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. If you're happy and you know it, thank your ex.
I love your voice, love your songwriting. It's so authentic, and man, those things, whether it's YouTube or watching the music videos, it's so just a pleasure to hear your voice and just enjoy the ride the music takes you on, because you really have a great, that roller coaster of songs. It really started at the beginning, and by the time you finish, you're like, man, the ticket was worth the ride to get on there, and just to wait in line, it was definitely worth it too, no doubt. Back here with HunterGirl on the Backstage Pass live on the YouTube channel, and of course at the sportsguys.podcast.com live on that very website. We're going to come back, talk about One Day, which was a fantastic EP you guys know all about, or if you don't, you're going to hear more about it here on the show. One more time out for Bangtail Whiskey, our friends at Mitch Max, and of course over there at HankJr.Productions.com. We'll talk about that, Redbird, and we're also going to do some rapid fire, talk about Hunter's favorite sports teams, if there are any. Stay tuned for that and more coming up here on the show. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And of course, back here on the show, if you missed the interview I did with Clay Walker the other day, we'll have that up on the website at some point this week. Check that out. We did a whole football broadcast with the hometown boy Clay Walker, and then coming up here in a few weeks, the legend Lori Morgan, right here on the Backstage Pass. We'll talk about a show she's doing in November in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at La Berge Casino and Resort out there too. Back here with Hunter Girl on the show. All right, we'll go right to the EP because I loved everything on there. I get a chance to listen to all these songs. Heartbreak Down was something that really just, man. Oh my God! To start an EP like that was just like grab you just by the shirt and pull you in, and just again better than mine. Houdini, everything was so great there. Tell me about this project, how it came together, and how satisfied you were with these songs.
So that EP was basically some of my favorite songs that I'd written since I got to Nashville. And going on to the show, I had a few weeks that I could put original music out. So I turned demos into masters in the matter of a few weeks. Me and my sister designed the album artwork on Canva, and we all came together to make it happen. And so, those are some of my favorite songs that I'd written. And so getting to put original music out before the show is something I really wanted to do because, I love being an artist, but I also really love being a songwriter. And I wanted everybody to know that I write songs too. So I was excited to have those songs out in the world.
All right, I got to get the backstory of Heartbreak Down because, it's everything's from a personal standpoint, and this had to be. Was this a personal reference? Was this a real life experience on this song?
Yeah, every song that I write is definitely real life. It's kind of that's what music is for me. That's how I deal with everything, and you kind of be real and honest with yourself, so you can be real and honest with everybody else, in hopes that it connects. And so, just that saying, like, I'm not going to let my heart break down. The past couple years before that, we were going through COVID, all these different things, and not just in a relationship, just things that we struggle with, just like saying, hey, I'm not gonna let my heart break down. And that ended up turning into a song. So I was really glad.
No, it's a beautiful song out there. And then it comes, you guys released it as a single this year. Just a song I know means so much to you. You kind of hinted on it here during the broadcast, but I know there's a deeper meaning for Redbird. And there's something about that song that means so much. It means so much to the listeners and the fans out there of music. And I love what you guys did with the artwork on the single cover. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So if you ask me what my heart on a plate was, it would be Redbird. That's something my great grandmother told my mom. Whenever you see a redbird, it meant somebody was watching over you. And, whenever I was going through a hard time, I'd see a redbird and I'd be like, oh, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And I was actually driving home to watch the first episode of American Idol, which was the one that I was on. And, my family's just pumped. They're like, let's go. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm driving home. I'm about to have a heart attack. And, just everything goes through your head, and being human, you're like, okay, like, I'm not good enough. I didn't do this right. This went wrong. And so I started praying to God, and I was like, hey, I know, everything's going to be okay, but, could you just let me know? And so I was driving, and a redbird flew in front of my car, and then another one and another one, all the way back to my house. And I started crying in the parking lot at my parents' house, but I cry all the time. And I got back to Nashville the next week, right before I left for the show. And I wrote that song. And so I was really glad that was the one that I got to play on the show and sing. And just hearing how it has connected with people. And, I'd lost a lot of people, especially the past few years. And I have a lot of redbirds waiting on me.
It's a beautiful album cover, and definitely the song. I mentioned that deeper meaning that it has. And I feel I could relate so much to it because I lost somebody who was very close to me, November 19.
I'm sorry.
Which is my grandma. And so I feel that redbird, that presence every day, kind of watching over us here in Texas. And definitely I love music, and that's the reason. I love how you write from that perspective of telling those stories and how real it is to people out there too. All right, so I'm gonna have a little fun with you here in a little rapid fire, so we get to know you more on a personal basis. Cool thing is, some people say it's not so rapid because some of these do take a little bit of thought. So, professional or college sports teams for HunterGirl, if there are any, who are you rooting for?
Tennessee Titans. I usually just watch college.
Okay. Who's your college team? Who's that?
Tennessee.
Okay, the Vols. Well, hey, they just had a big win over Alabama, as you probably know.
I know. I was playing. Okay, so I was playing a show in Louisiana, and it was hilarious because they had the screen. They had the screen up, and so I was watching it while I was getting ready. I was curling my hair in a restaurant, and then right before I went on stage, I saw where we won, and I was like, yes! And then it's literally like, okay, we're going on in 5, 4, 3. And I'm like, hello, everyone. And I'm just jamming back there. So that was awesome.
I love it. All right. When it comes to cravings, what's a Hunter Girl? I guess a number of favorite foods or favorite drinks. What's your go-to drinking food out there?
Drink coffee. I drink too much coffee. Coffee or Diet Coke. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, I drink so much
Amen.
coffee. It's scary.
It's bad.
If there was an IV bag for coffee, I'd probably have one. So I would definitely say coffee. Oh my God, I love chips. Like if there was, if like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, like some tortilla chips, queso, and guacamole. Oh my gosh, sign me up.
I'm with you on that too. Of course, one of my favorite, my worst things is like just a traditional sandwich and a bag of sour cream and onion potato chips, and I'm big on the Ruffles.
Oh
out
yeah.
there.
Oh, and the Doritos, where you put your Doritos on your sandwich. Delicious.
Yes,
Yes.
that's good too. What's bad for you is definitely good when you eat it, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, the title. If you don't remember the title of the first song you ever wrote, what was the song about?
The title was title was Knight in Shining Armor. I wrote it when I
Really?
was like 11.
Wow,
I think so. Yeah.
That's a full
Oh my
title.
gosh. So beautiful, intricate.
I like that. All right, Hunter Girl, favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, cookie dough.
Cookie dough. I like that one. That's a good one too. And I saw something I was eating at a place of the day, and they actually had the cheesesteaks there, Charlie's cheesesteaks or something like that. I think it's a chain. I guess it's from down here anyway. Pretty good cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Not what Philadelphia has, but
Yeah.
the authentic side was pretty good. And then I saw cookies and cream on a billboard or one of those little signs, and I said, "Get that shake." Yeah, I did not get the shake. I probably should have because it looks.
You're like, good decision. You're killing me. I haven't eaten and you're killing me.
I'm making you hungry, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, last show you got to binge watch. What was it?
Oh my gosh. Because I'm looking for a new show. Anybody in the comments, if you would like to drop a show that I should watch. I'm literally, because I have like a day off before I leave for tour. Not really, but I practice with a band and that's about it. But drop me a show.
I got a suggestion though. I can tell you this would be.
What's up?
And I know I was big on the Karate Kid back in the '80s. That Cobra Kai.
Is it really? Is it good?
It's pretty good. It gets you in it, man. They've done what 4 or 5 seasons now, but it's the Martin Cove series, which is really good, and it's you get the original actors of Ralph Macchio, and of course who played, I can't remember the guy's name, but he played Johnny Lawrence on the show, and then of course Martin Cove was one of the Cobra Kai instructors, originals that were in the Karate Kid movies. But they really bring this to life, and they really put it around. It's about the kids now. It's not about their life anymore. I mean, they got their rivalries and things like that, but it's about the kids, and it's really cool. And
that's awesome. Oh, I figured it out. It was Longmire. I know I sound like it because that's my pa's favorite show, and I don't get to see my family as much as I want, and so I started watching it because that's what he always watches, and so that just makes me feel like I'm watching it with my pa. And so, that's the last show I binge watched for sure.
I love it. I'm going to have to check out Longmire. I'm going to have to check it out. Is that a Netflix thing?
Yeah, it's Netflix. It's like a Western.
Okay.
Western criminal. I don't know. Yeah.
So. And then what's this new one that's out there now? They're about to, I guess the last episode for this season was
Yellowstone
released. Yeah, I love that one too. Oh, the Dragon, House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones, which is pretty good. I think it's out there. I'm still asking my wife every question in the book about what happened here, who's related to who, and this and this and this about.
And it's like everybody's related to everyone.
What Jan say here, she said, I've started the short series from scratch, which I'm binge watching at the moment. Like, is that Cobra Kai, I guess? Oh, Husband Loves Longmire. Yeah. So Anne's saying that too. I like that too. All right. Top 2 or 3 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, you're killing me. I'm trying to think. This is hard. This is difficult because I haven't got to. So whenever I was younger, I probably watched Peter Pan like 5 billion times. So I'll put that one up there.
All right.
And that's whenever we got to go to Disneyland on the show, that's the first place I went. I went to the Peter Pan ride because I had a picture whenever I was a kid. So that one, oh my gosh, Lord have mercy. I need to watch more movies. What's your favorite movie?
I would say for me, man, I tell you, my daughter's getting into all this Disney stuff now, but she likes this Hocus Pocus number 2 that's out. She
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
anything with the Frozen she's getting into now. It was a Toy Story, a little
Mhm.
bit of kind of a little craving there, and she got into that, which is still kind of there. Um, I don't know. I think sports movie of all time for me, it was like
Mm.
Remember the Titans because it meant so much
Yes.
to me at
Yeah.
the time, I
Mhm.
guess, and going through the I guess the period of watching things unfold through segregation, desegregation, and watching a
Yeah.
group of people just come together and work it out as a unit. And I would say, I don't know, the Rudy movie. Just being a sports fan, Rudy
Yeah,
was
that was
real big back in the day, and
yeah.
it's just top 2 there. And I will say one that really hits home, it makes you think about a lot of life experiences, is Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Just old school movies, but just movies. And then if you want a good laugh, you can never go wrong with this one. It's always on HBO or most of the major networks. My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my gosh, yes, I watched that. Oh my gosh.
Which anything Joe Pesci's in is amazing, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just fantastic here. All right, we'll finish up with this one too, because you and I were talkers. We could go on it all day with
Yeah.
this. If HunterGirl won a lottery of some kind tomorrow, what's the
Mhm.
first thing she'd do with all the money?
Oh, wow. Um, I would do a lot. I would first, I would donate to Freedom Sings USA. It's the veteran organization I work with.
Mhm.
I would pay off my sister's school. I would buy my mom a boat
Mhm.
and buy my daddy some land. So
I love the choices. I do,
yeah.
and I was going to say, I thought one of them I saw you say, get her a tour bus, tour the country, and just
Well, yeah, I'll get a tour bus too, but I thought of myself last. So yeah, that's probably the order I'd go in.
I like that. And I got to finish up with this one too, because it just came to my mind and I wanted to ask you about it. Big tour coming up starting this week. Noah
Yeah.
Thompson, you, and
Yeah.
I wish I was sitting front row. Maybe I'll get to catch you one day to be out there and sit front
Yeah.
row as a guest of yours. But my goodness, you're talent along with the guy who you're right there with the show. I mean, this guy, Noah Thompson's pretty good too, right?
Yeah, no, he's great, and it's gonna be so much fun, and it's gonna be awesome because Grace Lear, we were talking about her, she's
Mhm.
hopping on this weekend, and so I think Grace is playing most of the tour, and I think Lacey K. Booth may hop on too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Another Texas gal we had on the show a few weeks ago too, and she
Yeah.
definitely told me to tell you hello when she saw you were
Oh,
coming on there too. And of course, I can't wait. Noah Thompson here in a few weeks, and Lori Morgan, and a whole lot more here on the Backstage Pass. The single is "Hometown" out of me across all the digital platforms available nationwide. She is just starting again on that cusp of a great career. I know it's going to be great. I'm going to see you on that CMA ACM stage one day going new artist of the year, HunterGirl, and all these different categories. And I'm going to say, yep, she was right here on the Backstage Pass. We're just going to take this ride. And this journey is so special. And I'm so happy to see you're just having fun with this. And it's you're fulfilling your dreams. So just congratulations on all the success because you've earned it. And then
thank you.
keep kicking ass and taking names because I know you're going to be right there, no doubt.
I'm trying my best. We're taking it day by day, buddy.
No doubt, too. And she's Jan says from Australia, hope you and Noah have the best tour. Have fun, no doubt about it. And Catherine saying, see you in St. Louis. So I'll tell
See
you,
you
it's going to be
there.
a lot of fun out there, too. Guys, make sure you go download the music and check her out on socials for all the latest tour dates and everything out there. And of course, I'm sure some merch is coming and a lot more good stuff out there, too. So, HunterGirl, we appreciate the time here on the show. And definitely thanks for doing this. And hope you had a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a blast. Thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys, everybody in the comments for coming on here.
No doubt. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Backstage Pass. As to who's coming on, I have no idea. Just check out the socials. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. I know Noah Thompson here in a couple of weeks. And, of course, our good friend Lori Morgan coming by here on the show. And, of course, the interview, if you missed it with Clay Walker, I'll have it up on the Sports Guys podcast.com. Thanks to Hank Jr. Productions and our friends over